Okay, so today we're meeting up with Ben. So Ben Mason, thanks very much for coming in.
Nice to meet you, Andy.
Come and see us. So Ben's going to take us through a whole host of videos on foosball, how to play, the rules and all that sort of thing. But first of all, let's get a bit of background on you, Ben. So,
Thanks.
So tell us about yourself then, and your involvement in foosball. How did you start off playing?
Well, I was in a pub in Herefordshire and saw a few people playing. Went over to have a little look, and it was great fun. It was fast, it was frenetic, but there was skill, there was control. They weren't your normal pub player as such, and I got a little bit interested. I went and looked at the BFA website. That's the British Foosball Association. Saw they had little tournaments, so I went to view them, and I say little tournaments, there were a couple hundred people there, and so 20 tables. I was taken aback, really. It was like a childhood dream, and from then on I was hooked.
Yeah. Fantastic. So you mentioned the BFA then. So what's your involvement with the BFA?
Well, I'm chairman of the British Foosball Association. We're a proactive organisation. We try to make decisions quickly, try to do things the best we can. We're a strictly volunteer-based organisation, and for me, it's the ability to try and bring a player who may be a home player who's watching this now, and take them from their playing at home and develop them in that development curve, for one of a less corporate phrase, right through to a semi-pro or professional or even a pro master player. And we do that with coaching, we do that with at tournaments. Every tournament you've got a beginner event, you've got novice events, you've got the open events, which everyone's involved with. Right. But what that allows people to do is it allows them to play against the very best, but also play against people of their level as well, so they won't be put off. There's nothing worse, I think, for a young player or a new player coming along and just getting beaten. So that's why we always make sure we have beginner events. So it's beginner against beginner, amateur against amateur, semi-pro against semi-pro, as well as the big open events where we all compete.
All right, that sounds great. So in terms of, you've got an ITSF jacket on there.
Yeah.
So who are the ITSF and what's your involvement with them?
Well, the ITSF is the International Table Soccer Federation. It's the world governing body, and they're based out of Nantes, France. A fantastic organisation. They've made great strides in developing the game professionally. There are a good number of professional players in the world that all they do is they play table football and they do nothing else.
Right.
So you might have heard I've used already 3 different phrases. I've used foosball, table soccer and table football.
Yep.
In France they call it babyfoot. In Germany they call it Tischfußball. There are 4 or 5 names you can use, and I think we all know what each other means. I always prefer foosball. That's what I always say. So for me, when I always say I'm off to play foosball.
Yeah. Absolutely. So in terms of your involvement now, we've done ITSF, we've talked about the British Foosball Association, but you're also involved with Team GB, aren't you? So what's your involvement with that?
I'm a member of Team GB. I've competed and represented Great Britain. I've represented Great Britain over in Las Vegas, won a lot of world championships. Brilliant. I've played in Germany, I've played in France, I've played in Great Britain, I've played all over the world for Team GB. I've also gone and touted my wares over in Kuwait, and I've played over there. I've played in Belgium, I've played in Holland. I've played a great deal of places with the GB shirt on my back, and I finished 17th at this year's World Championships, which for me was a really, really good achievement. There are 40, 50 players at the World Championships, but to get there, you have to qualify in the top 2 or 3 players in your country.
Right, okay.
A bit like Champions League qualification in football. Depending on the size of your organisation, you either get 2 passes or 3. I managed to finish in the top 3 in Great Britain. I went across and represented. So I finished 17th from what might be a pool of 4,000 or 5,000 people who competed to get there.
Fantastic. So when's the next event then? When are you next competing?
I'll next be competing in March at one of my own events for my company. We're a promotions company called 5 Bar, and we put on table football tournaments around Great Britain.
Okay, all right. And at the ITSF, when's the next tournament with them?
My tournament will be an ITSF affiliated tournament. Right. So if you come along, you will get world ranking points. Okay. But as I say, you have your beginner event, your amateur and your open, so you can have a bit of everything. But my next time I'm going away abroad, I'll be going to Luxembourg the week after my event, so that'll be the 14th, 15th of March. Okay. I'll go to Luxembourg and compete an event there.
Fantastic. Well, good to meet you. Thanks ever so much for sparing your time and your skills with us, so much appreciated. Thanks.
For more foosball videos with Ben Mason, please visit homeresurrect.com/foosball.